Yo, what up? My screen is stretched again. This time I saw it. This time I noticed. Anyway, what up? It's me, Solar Loon. How's it going? Hope everything's going good for all of you watching the video. Yes, I am Solar Loon. I'm an independent game developer. I'm the creator of Master Plan. I'm the creator of Tetra 3D. I'm going to turn off my screen while I adjust it. Hold on for a second. Just in case things move around. Things did not move around. Good job, Linux. Cool. So yeah, what up? It's me, Solar Loon. I'm an independent game developer. I'm the creator of Master Plan. I'm the creator of Tetra 3D. I'm the creator of this GUI library I've been working on. I'm the creator of Resolve. I'm the creator of a lot of stuff, a few things. So yeah, how's it going? I hope everything's going good for all of y'all. Hopefully. So yeah, another update. So I have been working on this GUI library. If you're unfamiliar with, hold on, let me get some music going. Beautiful. Yeah, so I've been working on this GUI library. It's been shaping up, going pretty well. I've been adding, well, really implementing it into my project, my game. And so I'm doing it bit by bit here and there. Just kind of adjusted some things. Let's see. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, so I've been basically doing some things with maybe well, anyway. Yeah, I've been basically like implementing the things that I have been missing into my UI so that I can actually recreate the UI for the game, and it's working pretty well. You can see it's pretty simple. It's been simplified dramatically. Very straightforward, where it's just like, oh yeah, make a button, give it text, add it in. Make a button, give it text, add it in. And if it's pressed, then do these things. Do these things, do these things. So pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Not bad at all. Yeah, pretty good. And this is what it looks like. Hold up. Yeah, it's so previously this was like previously this was something that would automatically be set, and I don't think that that's good because that relied on essentially things like color being detected to see if it's a zero value, if it's all zeros. If a color's RGB and A values are all zero, then it treats it as basically substitute this as with a default value. I like that because it's easy, but that could easily become a bug if a person has black and they're fading it out, right? Then all of a sudden it turns white or it turns bright, and it's like, why is that happening? Well, that's why it's happening. So the right thing to do is to basically just make it explicit where you have to set these things yourself, or make a function that gives you the default values, which works, but then you can't set things optionally, right? That's the reason why I like this system, is you don't have to set everything. So you can say, oh, I want to set the base color and highlight color and click color, but I don't need to set the disabled color because my buttons are never disabled. Or I don't need to set toggleable because buttons are not toggleable, right? I don't need to set everything. So I like that system, whereas like you only have to set some properties. You don't have to set all of them. So this is kind of like an awkward middle ground. It would be nice if you could tell if something was a zero value without actually explicitly setting it. Yeah, I could go with pointers to color structures, but I don't want to have to do that if I don't need to. Man, maybe I should do that, because then you could set the color manually or leave it for the default value. Let me take a look at the stuff here. So all these colors could be defaults. Let me go back over here. Yeah, so this sets some default values. Well, we can't do that for everything. So this is probably a better setup. I never even used that. Man, this is tough, because this exemplifies like the kind of awkward middle ground where it's like, well, you want to provide options that are optional, but you can't detect them without making them pointers, which feels awkward. Like, you know, you can't make it so that everything needs to be a pointer. You can make it so that the zero value is a sensible default, but then you have this awkward, again, middle ground where, for example, scale is a vector, but you can't assume a scale of 1, 1 is 100% on each axis. Instead, a scale of 0, 0 is 100% on each axis. A scale of 1, 1 would be 200% on each axis, and a scale of negative 1, negative 1 is a scale of 0% on both axes. So like, that's not good either. So what I'm gonna do, you know what I can do? I'm going to do a couple of things to make this a little easier. I'm not going to have rotation because it doesn't make sense to have rotation. I expose rotation specifically separately because rotation is useful when you're drawing an image, like an icon. You might want to rotate a single icon, like an arrow or something. I don't want to do that because then if you do that, it feels like you have to do a whole bunch of other stuff. Like, oh, if you're going to have rotation, then you should have scale and translation, but you already have scale and translation in the form of the draw options, and I have layout modifier, so that's also kind of like scale essentially, and you have stretch that indicates how it's scaled. So it's like, well, I don't really want to have to do that. So what I can do instead is make a utility. Like this. I could probably do this on an image actually, so you don't have to do it. Because I need to probably provide the image itself, because without an image, there's no way to properly rotate it. It would rotate from the top left corner. So we can do this. If I'm going to do it like this, then I could just set these individually, because you probably don't need to set them all. You may not need to set them all. So then draw options, should we remove this? So you have to set draw options in the image first. So you can't set it afterward, because this could be called. No, that's fine. You could if you overwrite it, you overwrite it. Okay. Thinking about it now, though, the issue with this is it's tough, man. Like, the issue here is, like, basically what I want to do is just easily rotate this image. But the issue is that the order in which you do the scale rotation and translation matter. So maybe I should have set TRS. Because you can't do them in any order. It has to be done in the correct order. Otherwise, it's not going to work. the whole point was to do this, to not have to do all of them. Like, if I only want to set the rotation, but like I only want to set the rotation. This, I mean, this isn't bad, I guess. Ah, okay. Well, why is it? Maybe the rotation timing is off. That's better. Alright, so now we can get that. Cool, there we go. Okay. So this is what I was working on too. Yeah, this little UI system for option spinners, so you can choose different options. Very useful. And if you don't use that, you can also just use your mouse. Yeah. Which works fine, of course. We just want to set it to not be vertical. Very cool, very cool. Like, something I would like to do is to make some kind of width system, so you can make a new a struct that has some default values, and then basically create another struct that has non-default values that gets applied. Like, it's not hard to do. It would be something like this. I mean, like, this isn't a horrible idea. But this has to be done for every individual field, which is slow. I guess you could do like a, what's the word? Where you're, not reflex. You could do a, what's the thing I'm thinking of? I could use, I can't think of the word, man. Reflect, there we go. I could use reflect to like set the property for every field that is not set in this one. That is not its zero property. I could do that. It's not horrible. That would allow me to do, let me see, something like this. So that's the same as essentially the same as creating a function that does this. So instead of having the width, I could just apply. That would be so much nicer, dude. But the issue with that, even though I like that idea, is reflect is slow, and I do not like, this is something that you would be running every frame. I could write it out, but if I make any changes, I have to make sure to like update it. Can I write a script to do it for me? Can I write a Go, like a Go generate that does this? Let me look into that. Okay. Here's an example from the documentation for Stringer. Can we make this? There we go. Here's an example from the documentation of Stringer. Imagine that we have some code that contains a set of integer constants defining different types of pills. Package, painkiller, type, pill, int, const. For debugging, we like these constants to pre-print themselves, which means we want a method with a signature like that. We write one by hand. Okay, select strings indexed by pill or a map or some other technique, or we need to maintain. We change the pill. Go generate. Update the string method. Hmm. Okay, so we can use go generate to maybe do this, where we pass in the type and then we just loop through the fields, and if it's a struct, check to see if it has an is0 function, and if so we write this, and otherwise we just check to see if it's a bool, it's false, if it's anything else it's 0, more or less. And if it's a UI element, it's nil. Okay. If it's an interface. Let's say we did that, because the ideal of this is we could write this function that basically allows us to remove all of these functions for every UI type, while also making things much cleaner and allowing us to set some sensible defaults without like doing it magically. It's not a horrible idea. Okay, let me see. Actually, let me look to see if is there a go package by struct. I'm just looping through a couple of articles here. Sorry that it's bright. I might be able to actually do something about that. But anyway. Methods. Okay. Okay. Let's check GitHub. This probably uses reflect, I'm gonna guess, to make this happen, right? Yeah. We want to avoid using reflect. We probably want to use good. Well, I guess we could use that in our tool. Let's see. Hmm. 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 Man, this is complicated, but it feels like it would be useful. Maybe I can do this more simply than I think I can. Maybe I can change. Looking back at this library, change. I'm wondering if I can do this actually simpler than I think I can. Like maybe I don't need to really parse this file. Maybe I can just look at the each line that's not blank in between the brackets, in between the brackets of each struct, and just break it down into field and type. If the type is a slice, or UI element. I mean, because it doesn't have to be a real solution. It just has to be something that can do what I'm asking it to do. Okay, let's give it a shot. This is gonna be wild. Oh, wait, can I just... Yeah, okay, let's see. Let's see, file, I'm looking for UI element file. Yeah. I guess I could just do like that. Ah, okay, so I can do that and make this main and then just make this main. Cool. So we don't need a flag actually. We're just gonna basically walk the directory, and anything that has a UI, we can make this. So we're just gonna do this the most like basic Neanderthalish way possible. We're just gonna walk. Okay, so from here is giving us the examples. So what we want to do is probably, yeah, give us, I guess I'll do it like this. Let's make another. Yeah, let's make another terminal, and then we'll run tools. Okay, so it's walking every directory. There we go. Okay, so this is just walking at the current directory. Okay, so we only want to look at this stuff. So now contents equals os read file. Well, I mean, we could assume that anything that has the UI name is probably fine. So if strings that has prefix path UI not return. All right, so now we only have UI stuff. File contents equals os read file path. Okay, so here's the string contents. Cool. So what we want to do is pretty straightforward. We want to just basically say this output is this. What we want to do is search for I guess we want to look for structs. And we want to specifically look for structs yeah, I guess it's fine. Let's see. Oh, let's do it like this. So now we're splitting it up by line. Okay, cool. So now, what we want to do is get only the ones that start with the UI. Cool. Okay, so now we got our structs. Let's see. Oh, I could just use lines. Okay. Lines. Cool. Let's see. Start. Okay. So I want to basically, ideally, have the end of this type. I mean, I guess it should be the... Like, it should be the... Well, I guess we can just assume it's the fifth part of the thing. I mean, yeah, I guess that's fine. All right, so struct name should be line 5 to end. And we want to cut out the white space. Only one iteration variable. Okay. All right, there we go. So these are our things. Okay, so UI cycle button state. Okay, so I'm gonna probably change that. Cool. this is okay. All right, so we have our struct name. So now we just need to loop through this and for each thing and just basically check, is it a slice? It's not actually that complicated. We just need to check, is it a slice? Is it a UI element or layout function or color? Let's see. This is going to be crazy. So we're looping through the lines. Okay, so this is the struct start. Oops. 0. Right. Like this. There we go. All right. Struct name. Okay, so we have the struct name. Cool. So now we need to basically loop through all fields. I do want to iterate, but I also need the index. Okay, I guess I can just do it with this. Okay. Oh, because we're breaking, yeah. I mean, I guess I could just loop through this normally because this is kind of... That's a little easier, a little simpler. We don't need this. Okay. Cool. All right, and now we want to know... Let's do this again. Now we can go from struct start, struct end, -1, +1. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So now we have the all this stuff. Okay. So base color, highlight color, click color, all that stuff. So now we want to basically say if words line split. Split seek. Split after split. Okay, so we're splitting S, and I guess we don't have a split any, huh? Split any. Let's let me. Like, I know I've written this, or I've had this. I've needed this. Let me see. Fields. Okay. That might work. Let's see. Each instance of one or more consecutive whitespace characters. Okay, let's try that. Okay, so we have disabled and color, highlight and color. A comment. Yeah, so we have basically name, field name, and type. Field name and type. Field name and type. Okay, so this should work. what we want to do now, let's create a template. So template string. Oh wait, template. Templates. I may not need anything too complicated. It's pretty much just let me write this out a little bit. Let me replace these with something else. Let's use dollar signs. Okay, so this could work really well. Though now what I'm thinking though, UI image, is for images you have pointers. So it shouldn't probably do this for pointers. No, let's do it for pointers, because if you do it, it should just do it. All right. So this is the fundamental concept. It should write this. It should duplicate this multiple times. Duplicate that multiple times. So if is 0, if primitive, that's basically it, right? All of the types. You have uint, you have string, you have int, you have float, you have, yeah, that's basically it. I have to examine the whole thing for types. Okay, so we probably want to examine the whole thing for types. Type. Okay, so then we probably want to... Like, now that I'm thinking about it, this would create one more struct every time you use it. I'm not sure if it's worth that. But you would be cutting down on function calls dramatically. With graphics. With graphics. Let me take a look at my actual code. The concept is good. I'm just not using function. I'm not using functions enough to make it a problem, I guess. Like, I do like the idea, and I think that it could work. It would only take like another, maybe a couple hours to get to basically being done, but I don't really need it. I don't need it, even though I want it. I'm just thinking, man. Okay. I'm not going to do this, but I can do this. And this would basically replace the existing system. Like, this gives me I don't need that. this gives me the assurance or the understanding, like if I were to pursue this, it would generate this kind of outcome, and I can remove all of these functions and have confidence in not providing defaults by default, making functions that provide sensible defaults that don't set default values automatically and magically behind the scenes without you knowing about it. And it would be smoother to use than using the with functions all the time. It'd be also less code if you need to set multiple fields at the same time. So this is fine. I'm going to leave it the way it is. So the whole reason I was, pursuing that, like at the beginning of this stream, I was working on that little combo box. That's because in my game I have a combo UI element. That's it's not actually here, but basically there's going to be a scrollable field that's going to say like, okay, well, what do you need here, essentially. Okay. What is up with this spacing? There's only, excuse me, 4 buttons. Oh, well, I guess I do have to adjust that. Yeah, that's better. There we go. Yeah, give us some more vertical room. All right, let's see. So I need to make some things here. You set the text manually. I see. So with options. On. Okay, cool. So you can press left and right to cycle it. All right. Very cool. Very cool. So actually, we're making some surprising progress. Let me just grab a sprite. Actually, I just probably want to use this, but maybe with a little. Okay, let's see. Is it working? I don't see anything. Oh wait, is it? It may not be. It may not have exported to where I think it did. Or maybe it did. Yeah, that seems to be right. Let's change the music a little bit. Let me see. Is it? Yeah, it's there. Okay. So then why is the icon not showing up? Let me do something real quick. I need to fix something. Oh, the layout is there, but the element is not. Right. Okay. Okay, yeah. So that's what, yeah. So then. There we go. Yeah, yeah, there we go. You gotta shift the UI. All right, so then why is this not working? What is going on with this? It should be probably lighter too. Why is it not drawing here? Oh, because there's no click zone size. Oh. That's only if you need a click zone, though. Okay, hold on. All right. I am back and alive. Okay, so yeah. So the issue is, you can see, I have this being set to a click zone. Which is these little areas. Now, I'm not sure quite how to best to handle this. Maybe the icon shouldn't be dependent on the click zone size. Let's see. Right. Oh, yeah. There we go. Cool. Okay, so if there's no click zone, then they just scale to that. Yeah, yeah, that feels a little better, I think. If you want them to be smaller, you can make them smaller through a couple of different means. Let's see. Okay, not bad, not bad. All right, let's see. There we go, there we go. Okay. Let's see. We need to flip it. That means we need to scale it. Okay. Cool. Is it off? It's off, right? Like it's not centered. It's not like at the left side of the button. Was it like that before? No, okay. So then the order in which I do this is off. This should scale maybe before. Cool, okay, that is correct. So then we don't need to do this. Cool. Okay, so now that we got that working, cycle button style, then we can make this that the grid has 2 elements per row. Oh, how do we do this? So I want it to be 2 elements per row after the first row. I can make a custom layout, but I kind of want to figure out how can I like skip an element, skip a... Well, let's do this. Yeah. Okay. All right, we have back label style with text. Cool. Okay, so now we want to do something where we basically what if we could modify the grid at a certain point? Nah, that'd be impossible. So this does work, but the issue, as you can see, is it resets the location of the layout. How can we, what can we do about that? Like, back isn't in a wrong place. Back is where, I mean, it's too high, but like, I mean, I guess we could just set different layouts. That works. I guess we could just use different layouts. So we have like a center area, a top area, and a bottom area. Yeah, okay, we can do it like this. This is what I was thinking of. gooey.new layouts from strings, options area. Our rectangle is 0, 0, GW minus 128, G8 minus 128. This is fine. Okay. Oh, this works. How did this ever align itself properly? Because we don't modify the original. So yeah, I don't know. That's weird. Okay. Maybe I'm not thinking correctly. Yeah, we can just do it like that. All right, so we'll have some strings. Okay, so here's the strings. We want the header. And then we want the options. And then we want the closing area. Ooh, what if it returned a map? What if it returned a map? Because then you could use the character to find the thing. That's even better. Okay, I'm back. Let me, I'm gonna change the music a little bit. This only goes so hard. Okay. So, yeah. So let me make sure, just make sure this works still. Okay, yeah, it does. Yeah, so now we have characters we can use instead of numbers. So we could use A, B, body. So now it's going to be properly positioned no matter what. So what we can do, what we want to do is we want to go down here. Okay. So now the body just has 4 elements. Cool. Okay. What if you could pass elements to a layout directly? Because then once you set a layout function, you pass the elements, and then you don't have to set the number of elements in the layout in the layouter. It's something to think about. Something to think about. Okay, so let's try this out. Interesting. Okay, hold on. Frame BG, add to. Okay, hold on. I'm cooking. So does it move, or does it just it does not stretch? Okay. Options. Oh, right. Yeah, okay. So this actually is working. Not too shabbily. We just need the entire thing to have a background. All right, not too difficult. Yeah, we can do like that. Total options area is this, and then we have we already aligned it. Then we add this to total options area. Okay, let's try this. Cool. What? Okay. I'm sorry. That's really good. Yeah, it's very good. I'm happy with that. So a couple things. One is we want to consume things. Let's see, that might be all we need to do. Let's take a look. Save that. Oh. Left. How do we solve this? When we press left, it goes over to that, to the button. We can solve this by making sure the UI stuff happens before highlight changes. How do we make that happen though? Let me see. This begin handles all highlighting stuff. Do we want to do this in end? Maybe we do. Maybe we want this stuff to happen in end. IDs in use. Visible layouts. Okay, let's try something. I just want to test this out in a smaller environment. Okay, everything seems to be fine. So maybe we just need a single function that we call end. Maybe instead of end, we could call it finish, actually. And then end gets called at the end of everything. Clearing has to happen. It's gotta be the last thing. Let's see. Clear. Yeah, that's pretty much okay. Let's try that. Huh. Finish happens here. Hmm? Oh, but the queue to input isn't set, brother, because that's happening before. So we can call finish early. I think we can call finish early. we can call it before everything. Maybe gooey begin is just called first. Because q to input is equal to none. Maybe we kick that back here. And we make this begin instead. Then we call this first thing. Okay, that might work. So now instead of that, yeah, now it's begin. So now this happens first thing like that. Why? Oh, that's why. Because, yes, true. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make that end function. Because that's where the highlighted element stuff happens. So now this is, yeah, deeper. Okay. There we go. Cool. Let's make this that it has to be called. I guess I could just return an error like that. Okay. Cool. So now we go back here. We print out a result is nil. We don't have gooey.end. And we got a couple of problems. Okay, that's fine. Because the error tells you why that happens. Well, we'll do it like this, I guess. Okay. Cool. So now we can finally, now this is working as it should. Okay, so CRT shader, alright. So now we have label style with text. What was this? Okay, so we had CRT shader, aspect ratio, let's see. Beautiful. The back button is too big, of course. Because there's padding. Yeah, there's vertical padding. So if there's vertical padding, cool. So now exit. It's not bad. Not perfect, but not bad. Okay, okay, let's see. Let's give ourselves a little bit more room to work with. Works pretty well. Not perfect, but pretty well. All right, I'm gonna call it there. I'm gonna call it there. But thank you very much for watching. I've been SolarLoon. I appreciate it. I'll well, yeah, you're gonna catch me in the new year in 2026. I'm gonna be working on this game, hopefully getting it done. The UI is much better, and much easier to work with. Yeah, happy with it. Happy with it. If you want to support development, please check out Master Plan on itch.io or on Steam. That update, I wanted it to get out by the end of the year. It didn't happen, but I guess I could try to get it out by the end of today, but that's burning the midnight oil. But we'll see if I can get it out maybe by the end of this week or by this time next week, because it's pretty much done. Just wanted to do some testing. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Please check out github.com/solarloon/tetra3d. Please check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/solarloontube. Or is it just solarloon now? Okay, yeah, youtube.com/solarloon, and that's me. All right, well, I'll catch you guys on the flip side later. Thank you very much for watching. It's been real. See ya.